Reggae is a cultural movement that has traveled from Jamaica to every corner of the globe. Music business consultant Lloyd Laing joins us to explore reggae not just as a sound, but as an economic engine. We want to find out whether the island is truly benefiting from one of its most influential cultural exports. Good morning and welcome, Sir Laing.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Morning to you all.
I know what the words mean that Janella just said when she said economic engine. What would that mean?
It's a part of the, you see, a lot of us focus on the industry, which is the overall ecosystem. But the economic engine, or what we call the business machine, is the one that actually drives the money, keeps the business alive. And for us here in Jamaica, we're more focused on the art than the cart, as I would always say.
What are we not doing?
We are not doing business. We are more focused on creating songs, releasing songs, but don't spend the time doing what is the right thing to protect your equity. People feel that the music business is a low barrier to entry, but it's not. Most of the time when people enter the music business, the barrier is actually way over them head. And there's a lot of things that are left out. As a music business consultant and a catalog manager, I've seen scenarios and situations where artists have left quite a bit of money on the table because they know nothing about publishing. And publishing is the economic engine. It's the money machine. It's not the stage. It's not the master sales. It's the publishing that drives music business.
Sir Lloyd, does that surprise you? Because we've been doing this forever. And we've had outstanding artists that are selling music all over the world and getting all kind of platinum, this and all kinds of stuff. So does it surprise you that we still kind of don't understand how to do this thing?
Yes and no, because I think that at this juncture, we have had 3 generations of music purveyors or music entrepreneurs, and we all know the common mistakes that have been made by the past. Lack of focus on publishing, lack of focus on split sheets. There's more entertainers in the business than artists, because what separates an artist from an entertainer is an IPI number, which means they're a registered songwriter. We have quite a bit of even some of our stalwart artists that we know and love who don't have an IPI number. So they have no access to publishing. And from time to time, we see these conversations where people are quarreling about publishing. But when you really look at the back end of the page, they haven't spent any focus on it. You see, everybody is focused on the master side of the business, but eventually the master stops selling or it slows down. But if you really have a hit and a good song, it'll be played on 15,000 radio stations around the world every day. And that is the money that you're really looking for. As we say, your publishing is your pension. So if you're not focusing on your pension, which is your publishing, then you're not going to have anything as an artist once the music stops selling.
It's interesting what you just said. There's a difference between an artist and an entertainer.
Definitely.
That is interesting.
Definitely. We have quite a bit of entertainers in our business who have been around for a while.
Tell me again about the IPI. What is that and why is that necessary? Tell me again about that.
So the IPI number is like a TRN. It's an identification number that allows your PROs, publishing agencies, distributors to know exactly who to pay the associated royalty to. And that is tied into a composition, and that composition has a split. It might be between an author and a composer. And there are 2 sides to the business. There is the side where the author and composer registers, and there's another side called the publishing portion. Most of our artists, if not, and I'm going to tell you, the last check I made, about 72% of our homegrown artists, out of the 3,513 that are registered with the e-registry, about 72% of them don't have an IPI number or a valid publisher on their side to collect their publishing portion. So what happens is that we leave a lot of money unclaimed, and in some instances underclaimed as well. So last year there was about $13.9 million that went into the black box for homegrown artists originating out of Jamaica. That's $2.2 billion US dollars. That's 2.2 billion Jamaican dollars. Now, which industry can you really take serious if they're leaving $2 billion on the table year to year? Yeah? Let's be honest.
Where can they get, okay, so those who don't know, where can they get that information in terms of what they need to do and the steps that need to be followed?
Well, in our homegrown space, we have very few spaces that allow that. There is crma.works.com. There is Reggaeology that you can always go to. That is always, we have been helping artists for the last year and a half pull themselves together and become a part of the money machine. Between November and January of this year, we have helped over 110 artists regularize their music business. So they are no longer entertainers. They're actually music entrepreneurs now.
Yeah, I was going to ask that same question that Janetta asked you, but in a different way. Because from what you're saying, is it because of ignorance? And I don't mean that they're ignorant people. I mean ignorant to the fact. Or indiscipline, that they know, but them kind of don't put them stuff together. Is which one?
Never there's this misconception that being an independent artist means you can't do what you want when you feel like, or you feel like when you like. But the point of being an independent artist is that you are the only person that's going to look out for yourself. So it takes a certain level of self-discipline to make sure that all the moving parts that are required to ensure that the equity that you deserve as an artist comes to you.
Okay.
But a lot of people hope that somebody else will do it for them, or as in the case of older artists, we'll work it out down the line.
About how much money, put it in perspective for us, about how much money one can earn by following the right steps and becoming a part of the money machine.
All right, so the money machine and the variables for the money machine all depend on what you're doing, what the size of your catalog, if you have hits in that catalog, and how you're exploiting that catalog. And so it's very important for people to understand all of what I call the nuances that help to ensure that you're earning efficiently from your catalog. A lot of artists have a lot of songs out there, but they don't have a catalog. And what I mean by that, it's not properly organized, it's not properly registered, it's not properly in place, that a publisher can come forward, or somebody that's interested in, syncing for movies and films can come and get your catalog clean and go and, exploit it. We are in the business of exploiting intellectual property. That's what the business we are. And if you don't provide yourself the opportunity to exploit your intellectual property, somebody's going to do it for you.
Yep. Of the 72% that don't have the IPI, are there big artists here we're talking about, or are there some
yes.
newcomers?
I can tell you that of the top 20, let me just give you a very drastic reality of where we are. Of our top 20 legends, 12 of them don't have an IPI number.
Wow.
12 out of the 20.
12 out of 20. We were supposed to draw our top 20 legends right now. And I'm calling in the names.
Yeah.
12 of them don't have none.
Yep. I've always said
some
that.
Some of the artists that we see, we always wonder why we see these artists working day in, day out, because they are entertainers. If they don't work, they don't eat, because they don't have any publishing.
I come back to this question of ignorance. Do they know what you're talking about? Because I can't understand.
Some of them do, some of them don't.
But that's what I'm saying. I can't understand. I would know that, Virgin, if you put yourself together, you can earn a little change, and I don't do it. So obviously, some of them just don't know what you're talking about.
Some of them don't know. Some of them knew, but ignore the fact that they have lost a lot of money and just try to continue the road.
Yeah. So,
but then you have those who come to the table, and when we look at what's out there for them, or underclaim, it's really a significant portion.
So what's the word,
of
Lloyd?
Their earnings.
What's the
because
word,
you have to
Lloyd?
understand this in a level. For every dollar you earn on the mastered side, you can earn up to $1.50 on the publishing portion. So when you focus on the masters and don't focus on the publishing, you're really leaving about half of your revenue on the table.
There's something that you said that I want to just zoom in just a little bit on, the importance of having a catalog. As you rightly said, people have random things out there. Do you think that enough thought is being placed on having a catalog and having something that would sell, especially on the international side? Do you think enough of that is being done?
I think that we are still in a paradigm of music where we believe that the local influence will take the songs far. It don't work like that anymore. Music for us within a homegrown space is a export only product. So as I always say, if you're doing a song for the streets, for the youths in Maxfield, then give the song to the youths in Maxfield. But you must have music that is exportable. If you're not doing music that you can see it being synced, you can see it in a commercial, you can see it in a movie, you can see it in a documentary, you can see it in another body of work. then why are you doing it? 90% of the music that we're creating now in our dancehall ecosystem is unmarketable outside of our space.
What does marketable look like to you? What does that look like?
Marketable means that it resonates with the demography of 14 to 25-year-old middle-class Caucasians.
Wow.
Because they buy music.
Wow. Sir Lloyd, how you get them to where they should be? How you get them?
Well, what I normally do, when they do come and decide that, they have the tenacity to really look into what they have left over the years. It takes a lot of mental strength for some of them, and we have to sort of ease them into it. Because when they look at some of them have some sizable catalogs, especially the artists between 1987 and 2002.
Wow.
And when they look at how much money they have left on the table, sometimes for me it's heartbreaking because mentally I can see it affects them. Like they are looking and realizing that I've really left a lot of money on the table that I can't reclaim again. So the attitude moving forward is, just having the ability now to control their catalog, actually have it in one place, so now they can sort of earn from it.
Lloyd, why they can't reclaim it again if it is for them one?
Yeah.
Because there is a period, there's a thing called a black box. So if there is money unclaimed by you as an artist, in the Western world, there is a period. It's a three-year window. After that 3-year window, it goes into a thing called a black box, and that money is basically redistributed to everybody else but you.
Wow.
And imagine an artist...
Hold on, Lloyd, man. Wait, Lloyd, how do you mean redistributed to everybody but me? Then my money, how everybody else get it?
No, because you didn't claim it.
You never claimed it.
But it's not everybody else's money, so how them get it?
Because the money has to be redistributed.
Right.
So it's redistributed to the top 1%.
To the top 1%?
Yeah.
Wow.
Brother, I could have sit down and talk to you for the whole day because this is so interesting. This is so interesting. But Lloyd, me have to give you a hard time because you know if you grab them one by one when you see them and say, come sit down, man, and deal with this.
And we've been doing that since, as I said, since November to January. We have done 110 artists, homegrown artists. A lot of them from 1987 to 2002, and we've helped them work out them catalog and bring them catalog into a space that makes sense for them. Yeah. Ownership is very important because ownership represents equity. And so a lot of them were creating music, but they never held on to the equity in their music. But they're doing it now. And as I said, there's no better time than now, especially for the artists then between 87 and 2002, because their catalogs now are going to be a focus of the acquisitions. We're going to see a whole heap of acquisitions happening this year, and some of those acquisitions are going to be our own catalogs between 1987 and 2002. And we already see, Abode Music and Scatter already, signaling that there's people looking at that catalog along the way.
How can people...
So it's going to be very important for artists within that range to get the catalog together.
How can people contact you, Lloyd?
Well, I'm available at reggaeology.com. I'm also at crmaworks.com. And of course, you can always reach out to me at 1-876-837-0830. And I'll help you put the pieces together and we'll get the journey started, yeah?
Brendan, I'm very impressed. Very, very impressed. And I could sit and chat with you for the entire day. Yeah. Thanks for speaking with us this morning. Blessings, Virgin.
Anytime.
Yeah, man.
Love and respect.
Mr. Lloyd Laing, music business consultant. What an interesting
eye-opening, very eye-opening, Nevi.
Wow. All right.
So coming up, get your notepads out. We get a masterclass on job interviews after the break.